Hello, guys. Thank you so much for joining today. It is always a pleasure to have you here. If this is the first time you're joining my channel, thank you for always coming along. Perhaps through Google search or referral, whatever way that you came across my channel, just know that I'm so grateful to have you. I would encourage you to please go ahead and click that subscribe button down below and the notification bell so that anytime I release new content, you'll be the first person to get them. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming along. Thank you for sharing, liking, and commenting. Most people have been reaching out privately. Some people also make their comments so open on this channel. So whatever way, whatever works for you, by all means, do go ahead. As always, if you are transitioning from career, any of the career to project management or Scrum, but you're not sure what to do, you're still in that limbo, you're not sure where to go, what material to read, just reach out. I offer free mentorship. And if you're a new Scrum Master, you have gotten that new job, you have done the Scrum training, you have your certification, but you're still not sure, just reach out and we can work things out. It's totally, totally free. So if I were you, I would take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. All right, so today I wanted to talk about something that is very realistic. For people that are already working, either you are working as a Scrum Master or you're a project manager or you are even working in a different role. I mean, the reality is most people are working on site. Some other people are working distributed, which is also called remote Scrum Masters. So today I'll be taking some sort of analysis. Now, hear me out. I'm not going to say one is better than the other. That is not the main thing that I'm going to share with you guys today. What I'm going to share with you guys is we're going to take a look at the both sides of the same coin. Whether you're working in the office, whether you're working on site, or whether you're working distributed or remotely. Today, we're going to talk about what are the cons, what are the pros and the cons, or in other words, the analysis of either or, you know. Some people do work on site as Scrum Masters. Some people would work from home. So what are some sort of, advantages or disadvantages? Realistic, pragmatical. This is not theory. This is very realistic. So someone like me, I work remotely. So I know what are the challenges, what are the benefits, and all that things. So today, so some people might be like, oh, I'm not sure if I should accept a remote job or should work in on-site. Now, today might be an eye opener if you are in that, kind of not sure in that dilemma of either to apply for Scrum Master on site or apply for Scrum Master distributed position. Either ways, let's get it started. I'm going to share my screen as always, and then I can share with you guys what my thinking is concerning today's episode. And as always, I also wanted to emphasize that this is a debate. So most people are saying, oh, on-site Scrum Master job position is better than remote Scrum Master job position. And each side always give their own, arguments. They make their points so clear. So today is not that, we are not having a debate today. It's not a debate. Today is just to offer an analysis. By analysis, we are taking a look at both sides and see where one is better and where one is not better, where one can suffice and the other can't. So depending on the environment, depending on the geographical, there are a lot of factors that can influence either going for A or going for B. For today's content, basically there are 4 key factors that can help us in this analysis or comparison, if I may say. The first is the environment, the second is communication, the third is team dynamics, and the fourth is the challenges. So these key 4 factors are going to steer our conversation today. And how would they contribute to that? Let's find out. Now, let's start up with on-site Scrum Master position, okay? Now, remember, we have 4 factors that are going to engineer our conversation today for each of these key points. Now, the first is environment. Now, what does it mean when it comes to working on site in terms of environment? Basically, you're going to be working in the physical environment. That means you're going to be going to the office. You're going to be in the company's building, and you have your own workstation, right? In other words, you're having direct face-to-face conversation with your team. When the Agile, one of the things that Agile talks about, face-to-face conversation, this is where you're going to apply that. So the third thing about environment is, there are going to be some sort of impromptu meetings, discussion. It doesn't even apply. It's not just only for in-person or on-site meetings. Sometimes, if you're a remote worker, someone like me, there are times where your supervisor will just shoot you a message on Microsoft Teams and say, "Hey, do you have 5 minutes for a quick call?" Stuff like that. Those are impromptu meetings. So it does happen at the same time in an office setting. So are you ready for that on-site impromptu meetings and discussions? Are you ready for that? If you are, then this is for you. Now, the second factor is about communication. So most of the times what happens in an office setting is you're going to have that in-person communication. This is not where someone has to ping you on Slack or any of those tools. So you're going to be relying on that in-person conversation, and you're going to kind of observe non-verbal cues like body language. This is when you're having a conversation with someone one-on-one, there are things that the person might not say, but you can be able to decipher. You can, easily guess what the psychology or the room temperature is. So just stuff like that. And it also gives an opportunity where you can quickly address issues that kind of arise during the day. So as things come up, you can right away address them. Then in terms of team dynamics, right? It gives the opportunity for you to kind of create environment for team members to bond. I remember that there was one time I applied for a job position. Anyway, I'm a Scrum Master and a project manager too. So this company, they wanted me. They have interviewed me, right? They have done all the background check. They have done everything, but they're like, we want you to come to. One of the requirements was for me to be on site. The distance was very far away. So I told them, well, tell me why. If there is any activity that I can perform remotely. They're like, oh, one of the things we're looking forward to is for team bonding. We want everybody to be on site, right? So people can go for coffee, in-person coffee and all that things, stuff like that. So now, when you are also in in a physical building, it's quite so easy for you to gather people or your team members for any of the Scrum events. Now, as a Scrum Master, when you are working just remotely, sometimes it's time for daily Scrum, and it is, let's just say, 9 o'clock. People are not yet they have not joined the meeting online, so sometimes it could be very challenging to start pulling people into the meeting. But if it is an on-site, if it is a physical building, all you need to do is just to go and check your team members, on their workstation and put them into get them ready for that. So that's the setting. And then interactions are very straightforward when it comes to the physical or on-site environment. The last but not the least is the challenge. So now, if you're a new Scrum Master or you're an experienced Scrum Master, what are the drawbacks of working in an on-site environment? The first is limited to working with team members who are present in the office. So let's just say your team members, some of them are hybrid. They're working a hybrid nature. Some are in office, some are working from home. So it can be very challenging to coordinate that environment, right? Some people, you have to book what is called a room or conference room because you need to get everybody online. So some people that are working from home, you have to get them on the screen while others are in the office. So that kind of scenario could be very challenging. The second is, when you are working in an office building, there is sort of distraction. Some people might be walking around. Someone might just come, from nowhere and just ask for conversation. People all these, office setting, it could be very distracting. The third is that some sort of work-life balance. When you are working in the office, right, you might not have the opportunity to take care of your mental health. Maybe go take a walk, or just step outside to take a fresh air. Those kind of things might be very challenging, but it's not the same when you're working from home. Okay, now let's switch gear and take a look at when you are working as a distributed Scrum Master or you're working remotely. Now, remember, we're going to take a look at it from the 4 standpoints: the environment, the communication, team dynamics, and the challenges. Let's start with the environment. Now, when you are working remotely, you are going to work with team members who are geographically dispersed. What that means is people are working from different countries, regions, provinces, states, right? That's what it means. So you need to understand where people's time zones lie and stuff like that. And then you're going to be using, communication tools, right? This is no longer where you have to, talk one-on-one direct face-to-face. You should be able to learn how to use tools like Microsoft Teams, Slack, whatever tools that the organization is using. It could be, there are a lot of them. I can't really say all of them at the same time here right now. So each organization has different tools that we use to coordinate communication. So if you're not well experienced in that, it could be very challenging. You know what I mean? The third thing about the environment is that you have to manage teams, each individual's time zone, right? I remember when I started, it was very challenging for me to figure out how to manage my team members' different time zones. Some people might be in Eastern time zone, some people might be in the Central time zone, some people might be in the European time zone, some people might be in the Pacific. These are different time zones. So how can you coordinate that in order to make sure that when you are setting up a meeting, you wouldn't set a meeting where someone in India would be very, to be late. So you have to find out a time that could work for everybody. Stuff like that. Now, in terms of communication, right, you have to rely so heavily on tools to communicate. Let's just say you want to share information with someone, you have to use tools like Slack, or you want to send out a memo, you have to use Outlook. There are lots of things most of the things happen using these tools. So if you are not so techy, if you don't know how to use these tools, then it could be very challenging. You have to learn them. Now, it could be very challenging for you to pick up, nonverbal cues like, body temperature of someone when someone is not really paying attention and other things like that. You need to be much more proactive when you are working remotely as a Scrum Master, and it could be very challenging if you're not in that mental state. Now, the 2 last factors we're going to look at is the team dynamics and the challenges. In terms of the team dynamics, right, it requires you to put in more extra effort to bond your team, right? Now, assuming your team members are, they are still at that early stage of team formation, right? So it requires you to kind of brainstorm, figure out what you're going to do in order to, cement or bond your team members together. That kind of camaraderie that you need to put together. So you need to coordinate online events. Most of your meetings are going to be conducted online. So you need to know how to facilitate a meeting. Some people have this stage fright. They don't know how to look at people face to face to talk to them. So the working remotely could give you that opportunity where you can at least get yourself up to speed. Some people conduct their meetings without even putting on their cameras on. So that gives you the opportunity to master that stage fright. Think about it. Now, in terms of the challenges now, what are the challenges when it comes to working remotely as a Scrum Master? Now, in terms of physical distance, so if you're someone that you like to talk to people, you have to be direct to them, it could be very challenging, right? You like to see people, it could be a drawback for you. The second thing is that you have to make sure that you set up a clear communication pathway. You and I could agree that there are things that could be very difficult to express in words when you are typing, sending out a memo or email. But when you are having that face-to-face conversation, it could be very easy to iron things out. Got that, right? Now, the last but not the least is flexibility. When you're working remotely, it could be very distracting anyways. Sometimes you have that opportunity to eat something from your kitchen, or you need to maybe step out to take a fresh air. You need to relax and listen to a little bit music when you are free, just, to flex your muscle. Okay. What do you think? Do you think that based or considering this key information I've shared with you guys, that you prefer to work on site or you prefer to work remotely? If you prefer to work remotely, let me know in the comment section. If you prefer to work on site, let us also know in the comment section. Thank you so much for sticking with me for this few minutes. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And I hope I will see you again next time. In the meantime, I hope you stay well. Bye for now.